Hey everybody, welcome back. And Bilt seems to be going through that sophomore slump a bit later than thought. Let's let's talk about Bilt because I'm gonna be negative for a bit. I'm gonna be try to find some positivity. I'm gonna try to give some alternatives to Bilt for those who have just been burnt. Now, Bilt started the year on some pretty big highs. They had a really big seed round. They named Ken Chenault to the board of directors. They also added Roger Goodell to the board of directors, and maybe his bad juju and everything is possibly fueling the bag of terrible that's been going on over the last, really the last 3.5, 4 weeks. But maybe Roger was the canary in the coal mine. I'm sort of half kidding. So let's get into things. So earlier this year, it was announced that Bilt was losing American Airlines as a transfer partner in June. It happens. They have contracts expire, both decided not to renew. Or maybe Bilt wanted to renew and American Airlines decided not to. And American Airlines walked away and they're doing their own thing. Apparently, they're trying to restructure their credit card deals with Citi and Barclays, and we haven't heard one word about that. So those conversations must be going swimmingly. So that was the first real, can Bilt survive? Well, their crack communications team, and crack communications team at the time, literally the next day announced the Alaska Airlines partnership. And Alaska was going to become a transfer partner. As of this date, they became a transfer partner. It was a nice, smooth transition where you got a one world partner replacing a one world partner. Alaska's never been a transfer partner with anyone else. They were going to announce other integrations with Alaska and Bilt. It was going to be fantastic. Some time passed, and you didn't really hear anything until they announced that the Alaska Airlines credit card would earn 3 times points on rent using Bilt rental portal. Okay. Now, when that came out, it was also included that the Alaska Airlines card would also have to pay the 3% processing fee that all other credit cards have to pay when using that rental portal that aren't the Bilt card. That struck me as weird at the time just because you're announcing that this is a deeply integrated partnership, but they've still got to pay. That's weird. So maybe that was another canary in the coal mine. We watched the first one die because, well, it was Roger Goodell and who cares? And then this one happened and maybe we just weren't paying attention because we were all excited that it was Alaska. And then the most recent canary to go into the coal mine was this Wells article that came out. And the Wells article, it was about Wells Fargo losing $10 million a month on the Bilt card. They've stopped accepting co-branded cards, which the Expedia card that they were going to announce, that looks weirdly strong on paper. I mean, I understand that it's Expedia only rewards, but it looks good. I'm not getting it, but it looks good. So that announcement came shortly after the Wells article, and the Wells article was just a really bad look for Bilt. And Bilt having Wells as their partner, they chose the only bank in America with a worse approval rating than things like the U.S. Congress, bed bugs, stink bugs, ants, bubonic plague-carrying rats. Do I have to say more? Because the other hyperbole would be certain world leaders from a certain time frame. Hyperbole accomplished? Cool, thanks. So you have that partnership and people are ready to pounce on that and make fun of that partnership as often as they can, even though Wells Fargo has done a lot to change their perception or attempt to do a lot to change their perception, but I swear they could launch a 10 times point earning card that will transfer to Hyatt at 1 to 6, 1 Wells Fargo point to 6 Hyatt points, and literally no one would care. Right? That's how bad Wells Fargo's reputation is. Still. So you had that going on. And since that article, it just seems like Bilt's communication team just ran away. They're on Europa or Ganymede, just on vacation or hiding from reality. Because since then, you had the August rent day announcement. And the August rent day email kind of reads like something that was what you do when you're about to phase out a product completely and replace it with something else. Or phase out a product completely and just that would be it, right? 2 years ago, we introduced Rent Day with a simple goal to make the start of each month something to look forward to with points on rent and unique limited time benefits. Since then, we've loved hearing your stories. I read this word for word on an earlier post, right? On an earlier video. And they're continuing the tradition of exclusive travel experiences, fun collaborations. And, it's not just about one day of the month. It's a loyalty program for the home and neighborhood and expanding upon, neighborhood and things like that. And that's great, but they buried the lead. And the lead was, in October, we are foundationally changing Rent Day by cutting the benefit of your bonus points from 10,000 point max to 1,000 point max. And they should have taken this email to explain a vast minority of our members are utilizing this to the fullest extent possible to make it more fair, to make it more equitable, whatever nonsensical corporate speak, but highlight that you're going to make this change and highlight why you're making this change. That's not what happened. They buried it in the terms and conditions, and everything else was left as a hypothetical. My co-host Lonnie on the Stack Your Points podcast, and Call Me Lonnie, said the terms and conditions change was the only factual thing in that email, and it was in 3-point font. Yeah, that's not a great look. And then, they turn around within that week. They realize that it's a bad idea. They send out the VP of Travel and Rewards to talk to one of their most trusted news outlet and one of their most trusted outlets, the Points Guy, where the founder of the Points Guy is an advisor to Bilt, and they've got other advisors on other travel blogs. I know that the folks over at PointsWire highlight that they're advisors to Bilt as well. I don't know some of the other blogs what their relationship is exactly, but the VP of Travel and Rewards, Richard Kerr, had an email interview with the Points Guy, and that interview, highlights that the email was a mistake. The email ended up being a mistake. The terms and conditions change being just hidden was a mistake. They apologized for it. They plan to do better. Great. In the same interview, the Points Guy interviewer asked Richard about the upcoming changes to your ability to pay taxes with the Bilt card on Rent Day. And they highlighted that it's an even smaller portion of the whales who are spending big on Rent Day to maximize their points, that an even small portion of that group is utilizing this tax bonus, and that's going away. Again, nothing official has been announced, but it's coming from the VP of Travel and Rewards, so it's basically done. There's been no official word from Bilt about the 10,000 point cap other than the terms and conditions change. So there's no official explanation. They're doing their best to put a bandage on this, but no. There's been no official word about the changes to what does and doesn't work for payments for the bonus on tax day. And so in an attempt to fix their mistake, Bilt literally held my beer themselves. So mistake compounded by bigger mistake. And if you are someone who is having a lot of issues trusting Bilt right now, I hear it. I understand. I can see why. So Bilt is not helping their trust. And their trust wasn't exactly the strongest in the industry, right? They do have a great program on paper, but the second something goes wrong, it's a little hard to deal with it. It's a little hard to fix it. Check out the Bilt Rewards subreddit of all of the stories about dealing with Bilt customer support. And Bilt customer support will pass it off to at the time it was Evolve Bank. And if Evolve Bank would send it back to Bilt customer support, and Bilt customer support would say, no, it's Evolve's problem. Then they change banks. Bilt customer support would say, oh, it's a Wells Fargo problem. Wells Fargo would say, no, it's a Bilt problem. We'll go back to Bilt, and Bilt would, I don't know, sit there and eat a cookie. There's been problems. So as much as I'd like to extend the benefit of the doubt, I can see how it's hard. And if you don't trust Bilt right now, I can see why. So they're failing bad at communications. I don't know what happened to the marketing team. I don't know what happened to the corporate communications team. I don't know what happened that they have just become a bag of terrible. Their communications and the NFL's oh my God, Roger Goodell took over communications at Bilt, didn't he? That's what he's doing with his board seat. Maybe. That would explain a lot more than... That would explain it a lot easier than they all just woke up one morning and just decided to be stupid. I don't know. But I promised I would try to be positive. There was a Bloomberg article that came out, and I've read it through Yahoo Finance and one other through MSN Finance. So it's originally sourced at Bloomberg. So here we go. There was a Bloomberg article that came out that Bilt had raised another $150 million in funding. A lot of it coming from the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. And I don't mean Ontario, California. I mean Ontario, Canada. And a couple of other backers were part of this round of funding. $150 million brings Bilt valuation up to $3.25 billion. Billion. Okay. Does this mean that Bilt is going to start looking to expand internationally? Maybe. And that would certainly help some things. So I'll put that out there as a maybe Canada's rental markets will see Bilt and have the ability to gain rewards on things where I don't know how the Scotiabank credit cards work, but I know that the American Express credit cards, a couple of them are pretty worthwhile in terms of reward earning. Others less so. So maybe there's opportunity for growth up there. Maybe there's also opportunity to include real live people on a phone customer support. But I digress. Maybe it's possible that Bilt is looking into international expansion. I would rather get it right here first, but I'll put that out there because why would you be getting funding from Canadian sources if you weren't exploring the possibility of going into Canada? But regardless, that article also mentioned that they're looking at ways of expanding neighborhood and making neighborhood and wallet more rewarding. Neighborhood dining and incorporating the rewards network dining capability has been great in terms of vastly expanding the number of restaurants that you get, but rewards network is just the same 21,000 restaurants, and you get to pick your point earning. You can do Bilt, you can do Alaska Airlines, you can do TrueBlue, you can do American Airlines, you can do Delta, Choice Privileges, IHG, Marriott, Hilton. I am forgetting at least 6 other partners, T-Mobile, fuel rewards from Shell. And I feel like I'm missing some. But it expanded the neighborhood dining program. You can opt into the neighborhood dining program, and if the card that you're using to opt in is associated with another neighborhood dining program, you're going to lose that. Why I've mentioned the ability that I want a rewards network subscription. I'll put a link up here. Catch it if you want. But Bilt also has expanded with their fitness partners. Your fitness partners on the Bilt card, you're going to get 3 times points. Or if you pay with another card that's linked to your Bilt account, you're going to get 3 times points on that. So you could turn the Wells Fargo Attune card that will give you 4 times points on a gym membership, an additional 3 times points when you go to Pure Barre or Row House. I forgot the names of them, but yeah. Then what else is in network? Bilt Dining. Bilt Dining, Bilt Neighborhood Dining. There's a difference, and that's annoying. But they're looking to add to neighborhood and also add in gas and grocery. Gas and grocery are currently a status tier thing. Oh, and statuses? Let me go back to criticizing Bilt for a second here. Statuses have been an absolute disaster. I don't understand what the thought process there was. No, I understand what the thought process there was. I don't understand why they haven't been pitching it more. I don't understand why they haven't been making it more lucrative. I highlighted in my last Bilt video on rent day that silver members should not be getting 1x points on everything else. Gold members should not be getting 1x points on everything else. And platinum members absolutely should be getting 2 times points on everything all the time. Whether that messes with rent day or not, I don't know. But yeah. So neighborhoods is going to be potentially expanding into 3 new areas. Healthcare could be interesting. Gas and grocery. Gas and grocery is going to require partnerships with big retailers. So this could get very interesting, and this will present nice stacking opportunities. I'm sort of excited about this because it would mean that more of my spend can go toward Bilt, and I could potentially get status without holding a Bilt card. How likely is that? Not very. But I still want to have the ability to stack the points and then be able to transfer the points out at a later time, hopefully as a silver member. But we'll see. That is exciting. And everything that they're doing in preparation for October 1st is the sort of things that you'd be doing if you're going to issue new products. And I don't mean additions to Neighborhood. I don't mean additions to Wallet. I'm talking either a new credit card product or they're clearing the deck for mortgages. And they're doing a really, really bad job of communicating that they're clearing the deck for mortgages. What credit card products could they do? I don't know if it's another no annual fee card. I don't know if it's an annual fee card. I don't know if these are cards that would allow you to hit status faster. I don't know if these are cards that would give you the ability to raise your rent day bonus cap. I don't know. I think if you were going to do an annual fee card that did these things, like started you at silver or gold status, depending on the level of the annual fee, gave you priority pass lounge access, give you blade lounge access, gave you the ability to hit 5,000 bonus points per rent day or 10,000 bonus points per rent day, or if you're platinum you could go up to 20,000 bonus points per rent day. You have a flat 2% on top of everything else with the regular Bilt card, and then this newer Bilt card would be even more baller for you because they want you to spend, and if you're platinum you're already spending. So I don't know. I do think there are big things coming. I don't know if they're big positive things or even more big negative things. I will say, objectively, that the communications over the last couple of weeks have been awful at Bilt. Go back to school. Burn it all down and rebuild it, because what you're doing right now in trying to figure out a crisis that was of your own creation is not helping. You're pouring gasoline on the fire. So, yeah. But I think there's positive things coming. It may be a new annual fee card. It may be mortgages finally. It may be other things related to healthcare and student loans and gas and grocery, like they hinted. There's something coming. I can't tell you what it is. I'm hoping that it's positive. And I'm hoping that they kick it off with one hell of a transfer bonus on October 1st. Now, at the beginning of this, I said I would talk about some alternatives. For rent and rewards for rent and things of that nature, rent reporting and stuff like that. There's one company I have found. It looks like they go through more of a debit system and good for rebuilding your rent. This is called Pinata.ai. There are rewards associated with it, but you're not going to get transfer partners for travel. You're not going to get travel rewards. You could get, it looks like you're going to get, some everyday items, some fungible things, but also gift cards to Target, Walmart, whatever, Starbucks. Is it sexy rewards? No. Is it rewards, though, for your rent, for something that you do every day? Yes. Now, when it comes to credit cards and credit card alternatives, that's a lot harder because you have to look at the areas where Bilt operates. Bilt Travel, it's not particularly good. It's a 2% category. The Wells Fargo autograph card at no annual fee, 3 times points on travel, 3 times points on transit, boom, you are set. Chase Sapphire Preferred, which is the annual fee version of the Bilt card, and the Bilt card is a straight ripoff of the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and we like it better because it's no annual fee. It covers cell phone insurance, cell phone coverage. It does primary CDW, all with no annual fee. Sapphire Preferred won't do the cell phone coverage, but does cover a good chunk of 3% categories, is issued by a big bank that isn't going to be fly by night all of the sudden for no good reason after adding Roger Goodell to the board. I have to go check the board of Chase now, don't I? Still gets you 3 times dining. Doesn't double your points on one given day, but hey, it's a safe enough card if you're worried about product safety right now. The American Express Green Card, 3 times dining, 3 times travel and transit. Boom. Better than the Bilt card in those regards. And then it gets tougher. You've got the City Strata Premier, 3 times dining, 3 times gas, 3 times grocery. and travel partners, also $95 annual fee card. You're not going to find a card as unique as the Bilt card. I think the autograph journey from Wells Fargo, you're going to be fine with those. The Sapphire Preferred, as much as I rag on the Sapphire Preferred, you're going to be fine with the Sapphire Preferred. The Strata Premier and the Amex Green, safe cards, big issuers, you know what you're getting. You know the transfer partners. If you want to get away from Bilt right now, the big banks all have options for you. Capital One Duo, I'm a little wary of Capital One at the moment just because we don't know what's going on with the merger. They've only been cutting things or just leaving things fallow. We don't know what's going on with the Uber partnership in November. They're very quiet. We don't even know about them updating for global entry TSA PreCheck. Now, I assume they're going to do it, but it's the beginning of August and the clock is ticking. So, yeah. Alternatives to the card, going to be hard. The rent portion of things, check out pinata.ai if you're a renter who's been using Bilt and if you want to leave the platform, that might be your best bet. I haven't found anything else, but if you know of any alternatives, drop them in the comments for the community. We are over 1,200 people who watch these videos. I thank each and every one of you for watching these videos. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, check out the pinned comment. Check out the Stack Your Points podcast. I've mentioned it a couple times. I host that with Call Me Lonnie, RJ from Do You Take Cards, and Tariq. We get together every Monday and talk about credit cards, credit card news, credit card philosophies. We have a good time of it. That comes out on Tuesdays here on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. As always, if you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.